Kinda cold here, okay? So we're cozying up. Now in this video we're trying out the new card Elesh Norn Mother of Machines in my Sisay Weatherlight Captain 5 color deck, as this is a cEDH gameplay video following my solo perspective as I'm commentating and talking about my thought process while showcasing my hand during the entire video. Now in my deck I have a Yasharn, but we're also going up against Yasharn as a commander in this match. Against us we also have a Najeela the Blade Blossom, and lastly Kodama Sakashima Simic. Alright, now you know as much as me. Let's kick off and see where we're getting with this. So first 7 is actually kinda good. We have a Gemstone Caverns, which means that we can have a turn 1 Dafydd Voidwalker. But this is like first 7 and we can get better. I want something more. Let's go Mulligan. No. It's lacking colors. I would have loved this hand, but now we gotta go to 6. No lands. Have to go to 5. No lands. I have to go to 4. What we could do is keep this hand. The first thing that happens is cast Pact of Negation on anything and end this suffering. Okay, we have to keep this. We have to keep this. There's no option. Bottoming this, and one more. Hurts bottoming Boseiju, but that's what we're doing. Alright, this is like a hand that can get somewhere. We have a Ragavan, turn 1 Demonic Tutor, so if they feed Dockside too much, we're in the match. At least I'm cozy. Last in turn order too. This is already starting great. Now turn kicks off. Najeela starting the match with a Flooded Strand, exiling a Elesh Spirit Guide and a Tinder Wall. This could be a turn 1 Najeela. And there we go, turn 1 Najeela. And then he passes the turn to Kodama and Sakashima. This is Rhetoric. Playing a Mox Diamond, discarding a land, cracking a fetch land, and an Elvish Mystic. I love this playmat. Forest and Carpet. And Swords! Oh, on Najeela! I'm gonna untap and draw a card. Flooded Strand, crack that. Cast Ragavani, finding a volcanic island. Najeela casts a Demonic Tutor on her turn. Currently Dockside would give me 2 mana. However, I don't think we're gonna be in a good Dockside plan, because Yasharn is gonna shut that down, and there's gonna be a Yasharn in place, so we're gonna stay away from the Dockside plan. But Najeela finds a card, and then just passes the turn. Kodama draws a card. He plays Aurora and casts a Sylvan Library. And then he passes turn to the cute cat, or the big vegan bacon. Makes a white mana from the carpet. He plays a plains. The Draenei Magistrate. This is horrible. Take my turn and draw a card. Combat, sending Ragavan at Najeela. We flip a Wooded Foothills. Make a treasure. Play this land. Sacrifice this treasure for a land or elf and pass the turn. I don't want to use my Demonic Tutor yet. Oh, Dockside. Wait a minute, Venota might be. No, I don't have that card in this deck. What do I have in this deck? Kinnan could be a good target to find with Demonic Tutor. I should find something that's like making me gain value. Like finding something now that destroys Draenei Magistrate. He culling weak the Dockside. Oh no. So he gains 4 black mana. And there we go. Ad nauseum. Swan Song. Trying to counterspell that thing. Like a good person. My hand is amazing right now. Looks like he has a response though. Yeah, Force of Will. At least I reduced your life by 1 with the force here. So I have nothing more. So Ad nauseum resolves. There's the Oath of Druid something. Silence and stuff. There's Brain Freeze. That's a snap. There's Lotus Petal, that's good for him. There's another Ritual. Like, yeah, I think he's getting there. 12 life remaining. There's Underworld Breach. And I did see a snap, so he should be able to bounce Draenei, cast everything and win here, I think. Intuition. 5 life remaining. There he stops. He also has a land drop. So he has a Lotus Petal, land drop. I think I saw something more. Big hand. Oh, he actually continues. He did a calculation on his entire deck and realized that he had more cards. Okay, he down to 4 life. Yeah, this is looking great. Ancient Tomb even, so that's helping out a lot with especially... No, he can't use Ancient Tomb and Snap. Never mind. He can, but he has 4 lives, so he will die. Oh, Dark Ritual. Yeah. Begins by Mox Amber, plays a Lotus Petal. He cracks the petal for a red mana and casts a Rite of Flame. He casts a Ragavan, floating 1 red. use the remaining red to cast Soldering, and then he casts Chance or Glory, which is an extra turn spell. So because of the Chance of Glory, he's gonna take an extra turn. He will lose at the end of this turn, but obviously plans to win on this turn. So his plan is to start with Silence, Snap, and Breach. Snap bouncing back Draenei Bear straight to its owner's hand, untapping 2 lands, so it's basically free to cast. And then you can cast Lotus Petal from the graveyard with Unward Breach, and he has Brain Freeze, so yeah. And once he's milled out himself, he will escape Passa's Oracle and claim victory with a Silence effect in play. Can't win all of them. Especially not when you go to 4 last in turn order. Yeah, that was fast. Let's go to game 2. This is our opening hand. I actually like it. We have a Cradle, Finnon Elf, Airtie is okay to have in your hand, but Ranger Captain of Eos is amazing, and Rounded Lock for some safety in the early game. So yeah, this feels like a hand that could develop safely forward. We are last in turn order though, but it is what it is. Najeela starts off, draws a card, an Ancient Tomb, casts a Mox Diamond, and cast a Rustic Study. That is powerful magic. Esper Sentinel. Turn goes to Kodama Sakashima. Cracks a Polluted Delta. Elvish Mystic. And the Study draws a card. Draw a card. So I don't want to feed any of those guys, definitely. So that's sad, but well, it is what it is. Bloodstained Mire. Crack the Bloodstained Mire. Find Taiga, tap that, and cast a Fyndhorn Elf, can't pay for Rustic, draw a card, and I pass the turn. Turn goes to Scary Najeela with Rustic Study, Mox Diamond, and Ancient Tomb. That's a good board state for turn 2. And here comes Najeela. The Blade Blossom. Oh, Mox Amber. 0 costing artifact. Plays a Windswept Heath, cracks it, finds a Bayou, and casts a Tinder Wall. And then turn goes to Yasharn. Plays a Command Tower, and Swords on Najeela, paying for Rustic Study, and she goes to Exile. And then turn goes to Sakashima and Kodama. Plays a Wooded Foothills and cracks it for a Breeding Pool. He casts a Spellseeker, searching his deck, finding a Crop Rotation, and then he passes the turn. Untap and draw a card. I'm gonna play Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills, find a Plateau, which is the magical mana I need to cast Sisay. Can't pay for Rustic, and I pass on turn. And life, maybe. So we're going to Najeela. Without Najeela, but lots of card and lots of mana. He casts a Mox Opal, he does have Metalcraft and a Lotus Petal. He sacrificed Tinderwall for 2 red, and he recast Commander Najeela. Plays a Taiga land drop. Quite persistent stay in the game here with Commander. And he cast a Grim Hireling. So he's putting a combo piece in play basically. With this he can kinda win. If he connects that, well, 2 players might be enough here actually when I think about it. But if we just have blockers in play, we're fine. But that is definitely something we need to kill. Ooh! Yasharn casts an Archon of Emeria and passes the turn to Kodama and Sakashima, who plays an Inventor's Fair. Comes into play tapped because of Archon of Emeria. What is that? Aurora Breeze Color. Oh, it's one of those Moonfolk things that can return lands to hand. Okay, then he passes turn. Untap and draw a card. So I kinda wanna cast my Elesh Norn here and prevent ETB effect, but I can't do that because of non-basic land comes to play tapped. But we're gonna play Gaia's Cradle, comes to play tapped. Mana for the new Elesh Norn Mother of Machines. No more ETBs. Except for me. But in my end step, Najeela casts Eladamri's Call. He finds Darevi. Not the best thing here currently. No commander and can't ETB it, but still connects and untapped lands. He plays a tapped Wooded Foothills that he can't sacrifice, so it's a dead useless land. Demonic Tutor, searching his library for whatever he wants. Now he did search for Eladamri's Call, Darevi with Eladamri's Call, so he's not found Fasces. And if he has Fasces, it doesn't do anything because of Elesh Norn. He don't want to go to combat, and that's because Archon, turn is over. So turn goes here. Considering the board state, considering if I'm in Najeela's position, just fear crafting around what he's gonna find with his Demonic Tutor, I'm gonna guess it's a Cyclonic Rift. Because putting the Rev into play, putting the mana into play, he has a lot of mana by the way, and then just eventually passing on the turn cycle, going to my end step, casting Cyc Rift, going to his turn, casting Najeela, and probably wins there. That's what I think his kind of game plan is on. Cyc Rift basically saves him here. So Najeela is not out of the game, but once I Dovian's veto his Cyc Rift, he will cry and be out of the game. Ooh, Oren Frostfang. This is a great card draw card. Yep. So he swings with Yasharn at Najeela and Archon at me, I take 2 damage. and he draws 2 cards, and then he passes the turn. Kodama Sakashima casts Crop Rotation once again. Now, the thing with Yasharn is that he's shutting down sacrifice of non-land things. You're allowed to sacrifice lands, but you're not allowed to pay life. So you can, for example, sacrifice an Evolving Wild, but you can't sacrifice a fetch land because that's paying life, but you can sacrifice things for Crop Rotation. He finds Cradle, go to his turn and draws a card. 6 mana, casting Kodama. He attacks with Phantasmal Limits Yasharn at Najeela for 4 damage. He's currently down to 28 and pass turn to me. Untap and draw a card. Combat, because it has Vigilance, so I might as well. There's only one player who hasn't blockers. Najeela, take 4 damage please. Be greedy or not greedy. I think we're gonna be greedy. Sisay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and pay for Rhystic Study. And after that I will pass the turn. So I don't want to sit and hold up mana for Dovian's Veto and just pass in a turn cycle until I can like develop. So it's very greedy to put your commander into play and pass turn having no mana available while you have interaction. But if you sit here and do nothing, just hold up counterspells, you lose anyway. However, in my end step, Najeela is casting Snap on the Archon of Emeria, returning Archon back to his hand and untapping 2 lands. And then we go to Najeela's turn. This is why he put his commander into his graveyard, casting Sevin's Reclamation, targeting Najeela in his graveyard. But in response, someone is casting Endurance. I was just about to say that will do nothing because of Elesh Norn. However, in response, Najeela cast Pact of Negation, so that's a good outcome for us. Our total outcome is that Sevin's resolves and Najeela comes back, and Elesh Norn almost did us an unfavor there. He taps Forbidden Orchard for mana and gives a spirit to Yasharn. He cast Darevi, and there's no ETB, but he still cast it. It will still win the game if he goes to combat and connects with enough stuff. And then he casts Imperial Seal. So we all know who's the arch enemy here. Like, he's in an extremely good position. The problem is he's gonna pass turn here, and everyone's gonna be like focusing on him or holding up their guns against him at the very least. It's also a little bit tricky for him to like attack. Everyone has blockers at the moment. So the Najeela plan is not great. However, turn goes here, and that little blue thing is a 1/1 colorless spirit from the Forbidden Orchard. We begin by combat, sending the Oran Frostfang at me, and the 1/1 at Kodama. Now, because the 1/1 has Death Touch, no blocks, taking a damage. And he draws 2 cards. Ooh, second main phase, Ashwing Griff, so absolutely no ETB effects. And then he casts Archon. Now I don't have ETB anymore, which is fine, honestly. It is a little bit sad, though. I was kind of looking forward to you cast Airtie and getting double Airtie ETB effects. But it's okay. I was also looking forward to do like Ranger Captain here and get 2 triggers from the Ranger Captain, but yeah. Turn goes here to Kodama. Now with all of these variants Torpor Orb effects, Kodama does nothing. He casts the Leviathan Serpent that draws cards when land comes to play, but that's a trigger that won't happen. Untap and draw a card. I'm gonna put this Savannah into play tapped. I'm gonna attack with my Elesh Norn at Yasharn. Damn luck. He takes 4, and I pass the turn. He casts a Deathrite Shaman, and Najeela pass turn. So we untap. We're getting into a really long game here. We're slowly falling out of value. Like, this guy's drawing more cards than anyone, right? I'm pretty much the only one who's breaking parity in this game. If I was able to activate Sisay, we would be in a okay position. Goes to combat, Archon at me, and Hushwing at me, and the 1/1 at Rhetoric. But before damage, Najeela is tapping his Forbidden Orchard to give a spirit to Kodama so that he can block the spirit, which is really smart team play here, preventing a card draw, so that both spirits die. And then he uses the white mana to cast Silence. Shh. But in response, Yasharn casts Eladamri's Call, which will be his spell for this turn. And he finds an Aven Mind Sensor. That is annoying. It's not killing us, but it is a tiny bit annoying. Considering we are going up against creature decks, more or less, we could have used Dovian's Veto to counterspell this. I was considering it, but feels more important to keep it for something else, though. We can't activate CC currently anyway, so... Also, our deck contains a lot of legendary targets, so we have decent hits with Sisay. Now, in Sakashima's turn, we're going to combat with some big guys. We're in a big stompy game. Oh yeah, and that Phantasm Limits is a 4/4/2. So there's a 4/4, 6/6, and a 5/5. Everything at this guy. Boom. He blocks Yasharn and takes the rest, taking 11 damage, going down to 24. And he casts Rhystic Study. But in response to Rhystic Study, Code of Calling from damn luck. I'm gonna cast a Dovian's Veto on the Code of Calling, paying for a Rhystic Study, preventing more evil stuff. Enough is enough! And then Rhystic Study resolves. Maybe we should have counterspelled the Rhystic Study, but I'm getting a little bit annoyed by the Stax cards from Yasharn. I was wrong to kill the Yasharn with it's tricky. Go to my turn, draw a card. Annoying. Play a Forest. Sending this at Najeela for 4 damage. He takes 4, and I pass the turn. Now he goes to combat, and this is where the game... Everything at Yasharn. So now we have a big problem. He makes a warrior, because before damage he can activate Najeela. I actually think we'll lose here, because I'm the only one who's not tapping out for attackers. So here he makes more or less infinite combat steps, and he will be able to tap down blockers with Darevi triggers. And also he's making so many 1/1s that he will be fine going forward to me, even though I have blockers. And we're dead. Yeah, too much attacks. But apparently, even though I counted the Code of Calling, there was a Force of Negation from Najeela anyway. Also, nothing really went according to game plan here. Last in turn order every single time. Didn't draw a single land that helped me activate Sisay. Yep, it is what it is. I also think we attacked a little bit too much in this game. If we did just keep blockers up, Najeela would never win.